Our next story in this block is use of remote quality management in mega projects. And because it's on remote quality management, we have somebody remotely presenting, which is Sherief Elabd, Director of Industry Strategy and Innovation at Oracle Construction and Engineering.
Perfect. So let's get started here. It's really pretty challenging to do this over 10 minutes, but I'll try. So my name is Sherief Elabd, and I'm part of Oracle Industries Innovation Lab, specifically under the Construction and Engineering Global Business Unit. And probably most of you are aware of Oracle in that space as Primavera and Aconex. So that's particularly the business unit that I work for. I come from construction management background, and I've been working on enterprise project portfolio management systems for the past 19 years. So what we're discussing today is what is the business use case for the advanced quality or remote quality management? And I'm going to show you a solution that's not a conceptual solution. What you're about to see is something that we have implemented for one of the customers, but for security reasons, I won't be able to mention that particular customer. However, it is in Saudi Arabia. And then how accessible is this solution? And certainly for those of you who are interested in understanding more challenging, getting to know more the components of it, please reach out to me towards the end. So business use case. We've been all through the pandemic, and we understand that not everything went well when it comes to being 100% physically on site. The use case that we've got from the client is the scarcity of this skillful and talented quality inspectors, and you probably can relate in these mega complex projects with complex structures and some very unique structures within this particular project. And onboarding quality inspectors was such a cumbersome process, and they couldn't actually keep up with the enormous amount of projects with the needed or demanded number of quality inspectors. Hence, it's the move towards having a remote quality management solution. The other part of it is probably these projects within that particular projects are a bit distant, and hence people are not pretty intrigued to move to these projects, and that created another compelling use case towards the use of the solution. Last but not least is the collaboration. This solution has actually improved and enhanced the way amongst the project stakeholders to collaborate. So let's get into it here. When we look at any PMIS system, project management information system, there are core components that comprise that system across the different phases or facets of the project, even including the planning for operation with commissioning and asset handing over as well. What we're about to show you is part of the collaboration, or specifically what we're calling the PQI, project quality inspection, and that's certainly part of a very broad collaboration and communication amongst the stakeholders, and also how we connect the field with that solution enablement. So I think you would agree with me if I say that at the very bare minimum, when I'm having a piece of the work inspection request or a material inspection request, I also need to know what are the drawings or the models or the assets in the upon that mature in my design that are related to that particular scope of the quality inspection. Some of you work against ITPs or installation testing plan, and each of these work inspection requests as a contractor, they raise it against a particular element within that particular ITP, be it an equipment, a part, or an asset. So that's the way how it works. We also need to understand what is the impact of the result of that particular quality inspection on the schedule. I'm not saying everyone is doing that, but we have some use cases where customers need to connect the project schedule, certainly in our flagship Primavera P6 product, to a high level of the PQI in order to understand if there are any delays for the review of the quality inspections, or if that resulted in a rework or unlikely evolved into a non-conformance or compliance, what would be the impact on the schedule from milestone delivery perspective? So these are the very basic elements that with every creation of a contractor work inspection request, you need to know. We see even in some practices that they want to see the impact of the quality inspection failure or a delay on a particular line item against a payment application on the contractor as well. So let's get into the very interesting stuff. It looks pretty busy as a slide, but I'm going to make it pretty simple for you. This solution is built on our very industry standard AConnect. It's the widest and used project management information system in Saudi Arabia and probably across the Middle East. We start this process all the way from capturing. So we have Oracle Lab partners that we have integration, proprietary integration into AConnect and one of our virtual command centers. We capture using scanners from Faro and Insta360. And we bring in all these scans for the actual construction, or what we're calling the reality capture, into a platform. We're calling it Virtual Command Center from Reconstruct. Once you have that reality model, we compare it and overlay it against the design, be it 2D or 3D, depending on the maturity of the model. And according to certain algorithms and object recognition, that uses the computer vision technology, we are able to detect certain quality issues. We're calling this process as detect undetected. So there are a lot of cases and situations where physical quality inspections might not be able to detect some certain issues. And this is where we use the artificial intelligence or AI in doing this. Once that happens, all these issues that are detected between the reality and the design, they go automatically using a BSF compliant mechanism into AConnect. And from there, we do the collaboration amongst the stakeholders. We can communicate back and forth with the modelers if there is anything wrong and we need to modify something in the as-built, or probably we've detected some clashes and we just need to resolve this in the authoring applications, and we're assuming Revit in this case based on the case study that we had with our customers. So let me walk you very quickly into the process. AConnect, as probably most of you are aware, it is a project collaboration and communication with a cost management solution as well in it. We've added something called model coordination. It is something similar to what you see in Autodesk or Bentley, but we use it heavily in the construction phase of the project. So we don't overlap with what engineering and design authoring software vendors are doing. We rather consume the models during the construction because we have most of the stakeholders on the project within AConnect, and that's the nature of AConnect here. The beauty about it is we're able to associate and connect all the records, all documents, all issues, mails, wherever you call it, or workflows of collaboration in AConnect to their corresponding elements within the model. And that allows us to federate and make all these associations consumable for people who are on the field in order to allow them to do quality context inspections according to the elements or the systems in the model. So how the process goes. As I said, we start by capturing the reality of the actual construction. That can be by a drone, it can be by a scanner or a 360 camera. the last two are actually part of the use case that we have within our customer. They haven't used drones yet to follow later. And once we bring this into the VCC or virtual command center, we compare it with the drawings or the design model itself. And that allows us to capture or detect these issues that we later send into Aconex. Not only that, if you have a proper mapping between the activity ID and the elements in the model, this is what we're calling the 4D scheduling. And it sounds like an easy process, but you have to have or maintain a certain quality in the way you structure the project schedules and make that one-time association to the elements or the assets in the model. You can also see that 4D scheduling within the virtual command center. So let's assume that this is the design of the structure or the project, and we brought in the reality model. As I said, we use scanners or 360 cameras. There are huge amount of details that we need to explain to yourself if you're interested later in doing the reality modeling. But the whole idea here is we bring in the reality and we put it along with the design. Next step is I have the reality and I have the design, and the AI engine has detected some issues that I'm not aware of. So I need to pin, or in other words, I need to snapshot these and say, hey, Mr. Collaborator or a certain stakeholder in Aconex, you need to be aware of a certain threat or maybe certain risk related to a leakage, or maybe cracks, or maybe an offset in the placement of a particular pipe, whatever the thing is. So I create that pin and I associate it to a particular work inspection request as a potential work inspection request, and link that into the mobile app, because that feature is also available in the mobile app. So I'm visualizing these. I'm out and about. I have received that particular warning against a detected issue, and I'm going to annotate it. I went physically, I annotated, I left a voice note or certain commands. I posted that to someone so that we can review. And I'm reviewing this, understanding what's happening, and I'm paying attention to it. And probably the next step is making sure that whoever I'm communicating with, I am crystal clear on what is the exact issue. So not only that we do it remotely, but we make sure that when we focus our effort on site, we do it against these newly detected issues beyond the physical inspections. So we have an issue here, and probably the solution is, hey, let's just go ahead and update the as-built with the new setup or the new construction. Or probably that would require a rework, correct? Or probably we need to discuss something before we make a decision. So we bring this back into Aconex. In Aconex, you can actually progress the workflow depending on what kind of action. And again, you're maintaining all the association against the elements and the systems in the model with the corresponding, let's say, RFI, new RFI to the contractor. That's what's going on, or probably it's an NCR or just a memo. And then next step is I want to make sure that whatever we have done is communicated to the modelers. Within Aconex, we have an integration with Revit where we can send back these issues so that the modelers work on either modifying the design or the as-built. And again, I need to check whether this corrected or resolved maybe after 1 week or 10 minutes, depending on the period of time that the workflow allows. I'm going to go again with the virtual reality where we can connect in Aconex and make sure that this new as-built that it's in Aconex coming from Revit has actually resolve that particular issue. If it's not, then we're taking the workflow in AConnect into the next step, or as I said, this may trigger the creation of an NCR. So the bottom line here is this is a full life cycle of remote quality management. I really jumped through it very quickly. Probably last but not least is if you want to understand the impact on the delivery schedule across all these things, this is where the virtual command center comes into play with the mapping of Primavera P6 against the model. Not only the model, we can actually do that against the reality of the construction as well, so that you understand what's the deficit from schedule and delivery perspective. Full solution by Oracle Industries Innovation Lab, and certainly if you're interested to know more, happy to walk you through it, and please contact me. That's my email address, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. Thanks, everyone.